You all know I recently moved to France, and so on the weekend, for some inexplicable reason, I had no idea what was going on yet. I felt this chill overcome me. I was gripped with anxiety and discomfort and unease, yet I had no idea what the cause of all of these feelings were. Is it October, spooky season? Little did I know that this had just landed on my new home turf. Yep, Balenciaga's new it girl, if a 44-year-old woman can be called a girl, none other than Meghan Markle herself. First of all, before I say anything else, I don't care what anyone tells me. This woman is not well. Just look at that face and convince me that this is the face of someone who is okay. Because I have never seen anyone else in the public sphere walk around, maybe a Kardashian, maybe one of those people, but walk around with this God complex that they are unabashedly advertising for the entire world to witness. I mean, it's either a God complex or intense cult leader vibes. I think they're basically the same, right? Cult leaders have a God complex. And that's what we're getting here. And the outfit is really not helping her in the slightest. I'm actually a big fan of the oversized look. I wear it myself. I have two settings. The vintage, really colorful, preppy almost vibe that I go for when I'm trying to look more put together. But when I'm casual, I'm 100% androgynous. Oversized blazer, oversized button-up, oversized pants. Just give me all the oversized loafers. Just give it all. I love it. However, at the risk of sounding obnoxious, I don't think everyone can pull it off. I really don't. I'm quite tall. I'm quite a tall person. So you need the height to be able to pull off the oversized without looking like you're being eaten alive by your clothing, which is exactly what's happening to Meghan Markle. She's a small woman. I don't believe she's 5'6" by any stretch of the imagination. Not to mention the intense cult leader vibes that this outfit is giving. I have no idea who told her this is a good look. However, knowing what we know about Meghan Markle and her fashion sense, I mean, she probably didn't listen to anyone and decided that this was great because it fits in right with her style. Oversized everything, and she looks awful. Then we get to, of course, the whole Balenciaga controversy. A couple of years ago, they came out with this terrible idea of a campaign where children were portrayed in incredibly inappropriate ways. Let me put it. We're talking bondage here. We're talking BDSM. And these were very small children, under 10 years old from the looks of it. This was entirely controversial. A lot of you may actually remember this happening in real time. And honestly, I don't know if the brand has fully recovered since then. I don't buy into these types of brands, so I don't know whether their performance has actually, recovered since that controversy. Based on the woman that they have decided to be their it girl for Paris Fashion Week, I'm going to assume that all is not well with Balenciaga. Now, granted, the designer who was in charge or responsible for that terrible campaign has actually moved on to Gucci. And he's been replaced by the former Valentino designer, Pierpaolo Piccioli. And suddenly it made sense to me, because Meghan Markle is obsessed with Valentino. We all know that. She's constantly, speaking of oversized white get-ups, we all remember that outfit from 3 years ago at the Invictus Games in The Hague. So there definitely is an argument that this is a new designer, a new era for Balenciaga. And so you can't really come after Meghan for teaming up with a brand who went against everything she espouses. I mean, she's all about child safety. Isn't that her whole shtick with Archewell? They're actually showing up for the World Mental Health thing next week for some joke of an award, the humanitarian award that they have paid for. And that's, I'm assuming, something to do with their work for Archewell with online safety and advocating for parents, the Parents Network, which have we heard of anything to do with that since over a year now that they've launched it? So the hypocrisy, there is an argument for it. I'm going to be open-minded. I'm going to say, look, it's a new era. I suppose we can't hold the new designer responsible for the mistakes of the previous one. And clearly the previous one, what was their name? I have it here. Demna, is that how you pronounce it? Is not being canceled and hasn't been punished. They're in Gucci. They've moved on. So let me know what you think, I suppose. I'm really of two minds when it comes to this. And I bet you she called them anyway. I mean, if there's anything you want to know about Meghan, she's a hustler. And she's not ashamed to say that. Even before she met Harry, or around the time she was dating Harry, she was very open about the fact that she makes things happen. She chases brands. She literally calls them up and cold calls them and emails them, just like she was calling the senators 4 years ago to campaign for, parental rights or whatnot, involving herself as the Duchess of Sussex. But that's what she does. So I believe, I don't have proof, but just based on, past experiences, I suppose, based on the information out there, I believe she probably harassed Balenciaga and Pierpaolo Piccioli to team up with him and offer her services. And since Balenciaga are in the repair phase for their reputation, they accepted. That's just my theory. I've also heard that the big names didn't really show up at that tier of fashion show, and the real celebrities and even the aristocracy of Europe, they went to higher tier shows. I know there's a whole group of aristocrats who were at Versailles over the weekend for an event there. So yeah, Meghan's not really, at that caliber, which you would have thought, seeing as she's royal. Another thing is, it's funny how birds of a feather always seem to flock together. Notice who she's sitting next to at the show. Yep, none other than another completely out of touch, entitled, smug, and by all accounts incredibly mean nepo baby, Tracee Ellis Ross, Diana Ross's progeny. It's funny because she actually also wore a hideous red dress made by, I think it was also Carolina Herrera, that looked eerily similar to the disaster burst tomato dress that Meghan wore twice now. So these two clearly have a lot going in common, and I really wouldn't be surprised if the two of them exchanged numbers at this event. I know Tracee Ellis Ross has this awful travel show where she thinks everyone just gets on first class and does a dry scrub, right? And then you slap on a mask and sleep for the duration of the trip. That's how we travel. So yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. It is so fitting that they are together. And then notice the other person sitting next to her. And he's not just sitting next to her, by the way. He's with her everywhere. Marcus Anderson, the former, or still current global membership director for Soho House, which is how Meghan made her Harry connection. In fact, people say he's one of the matchmakers. Don't know. All I know is that this man is there, always around her, has always been around her, and for some reason is still currently sitting right next to her instead of her royal husband. I have my own theories. I have a feeling that Meghan just didn't want to be upstaged by her royal husband, because whenever he's around, that's where all the attention really flocks to. Because even celebrities know that he's the real royal and she's just the wife. Not to mention she's not charismatic, because there's nothing wrong with being the wife. I mean, look at Catherine. When she went to the States in 2011, celebrities like Reese Witherspoon were fawning all over her, but that's because that's her aura. Catherine just has that aura. And I'm not even just talking she's regal. She's nice, and she's someone that is warm and you probably just want to really be around. And then there's also obviously that stardust that comes with being royal, which Meghan did enjoy around 2018, 2017 at the end as well. Basically in the lead up to her wedding and before she ruined her own reputation with her antics. Basically, she enjoyed that glitter, which she obviously does not have anymore. Speaking of Harry, I want to finish off this segment with this initially innocuous footage, if you don't know what you're looking at. But let me show you this video of something that's actually quite sinister once you realize what is being done here. And it completely proves my belief, my theory, that Meghan Markle is still actively threatening Harry and effing with his head in order to control him, obviously manipulate him, and get her way. I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago, and I still stand by what I said. So she shared this on her Instagram story. She filmed this on her phone, where she's in a limo, at the back of a limo, being driven back to her hotel, I suppose, after the after party, while she passes by the Pont de l'Alma, the tunnel where Princess Diana eventually lost her life. If that's not some mental effery, then I don't know what is. This woman, as I said at the beginning, is not well. Based on these paparazzi videos even, just look at the over the shoulder. She's lost every ounce of humanity, if she ever had it, because I'm starting to think that she never did. They say that you lose your humanity really on the way to the top, especially when it comes to those circles of Hollywood. But I don't think Meghan Markle had any humanity to begin with. Her eyes are blank. They are vacant. She could be hungry. I mean, it looks like she's still on the Ozempic. It could be that. But she's always had vacant eyes. That's what's been really disconcerting about her from the very beginning, those dead shark eyes.